So Jack Dorsey and Jay-Z are launching a Bitcoin Academy for public housing residents in Brooklyn, in Marcy community where he grew up. I think this is really interesting because I think everyone here in this audience and all of us on this stage know that Bitcoin has the ability to offer financial access to people who have maybe been forgotten about by traditional financial systems. And Jack and Jay-Z are expanding their repertoire into Brooklyn. Now, Ben, you're from Brooklyn, so I'm passing you.
I'm from Atlanta.
Okay, you're from Atlanta, but you live in Brooklyn. What did you think when you were reading the story this morning?
I think to start with the educational approach, I see a lot of people like diving in if they have, the wherewithal and the money to do so without doing that basic 101 stuff. And, CoinDesk has a lot of, written about this, trying to educate, and, I've helped written of those kind of things in the past. And so that's like the best possible starting point. It's not like, here's a Bitcoin, go play, or like put this in DeFi or something like that, like all these different assets. And, part of the things that we have at Consensus and the appeal of it is that you're speaking to a wide audience. There's NFTs, there's DeFi, there's Bitcoin, there's all the other kind of ecosystems here. So it's a really good starting point. That's where this is going to be going. And obviously, Jay-Z getting back to the community isn't new. Doing it in this form with Jack in Brooklyn is a little bit new. It'll be interesting to see if other, prominent either artists or others from Brooklyn who have an interest in crypto could follow suit.
Yeah, I mean, the demand is there, right? I think, there was a recent study with Charles Schwab involved and found that, 25% of Black Americans have access to Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency. That compares to like 15% of white Americans, right? So that's resonating with this particular community. And I think additional education there is fantastic because Bitcoin honestly does represent sort of self-sovereign finance, right? An alternative, as you mentioned, to existing systems that have disfavored large groups of people historically. So the fact that that is seeing an uptick among those communities and we're seeing education efforts like this to sort of further advance that cause, I think it's super smart, and I'm curious to see what comes of this for sure.
I'm actually very excited to talk about this because I love to see people giving back. And when I first got into Bitcoin, I had no idea what this tech stuff was. I was like, this is hard, this is math. But then when you actually learn about Bitcoin, you read the white paper, it forces you to really understand how money works, what is inflation, which we're going to talk about. All these really complex financial systems, it forces you to learn about it and then to really realize all of the different predatory things that are happening. So the fact that we have somebody like Jay-Z that is doing this, I love it, and I think we're going to see a lot more other people contribute to their local communities. And that's where the education starts, is within local communities and giving back. And I'm very, very excited for it.
Okay, my only take about this is about Bitcoin maximalist culture, because it's Jack Dorsey, right? So it has to be involved. Who is the profile picture for Jay-Z? Do you know?
I think it's an NFT, right?
It is an NFT.
I think you know.
It is an NFT.
Ooh, I got a hot take on this.
Do you?
I do.
Let's hear it.
What is it?
My take is that Bitcoin maximalists get to pick and choose who they favor and what people that they allow in and what people that they do not allow in. And I don't think that's okay. You get to have a personal opinion, like what people you like or you don't like, but when you're going to sit up there and have this real ideology about we accept this or we only accept that, but then when somebody comes in with money that wants to do something similar that you want to do, but they also have different opinions about other things, it's kind of problematic to me.
Problematic. I hear that word a lot, but I agree with you here. I do think that someone like Jack Dorsey has a pedestal and he's able to use whatever he wants in that moment. Collaboration with Jay-Z makes a ton of sense, right? And doesn't he work with like Tidal thought together also? So like it's a lot of different technologies that they work on together, and they try to break outside the mold of traditional stuff. So going back to Tidal, music industry, that's been dominated by a few streamers. A lot of these artists don't get the rewards they should get from their work. They don't get the royalties. Like you can make a million streams and get like literally no money from it. And so he wants to change that with Tidal, and that's why they're working with groups like Jay-Z. I think like Kanye is part of it. Some other people. He's very trendy, even though he's a Bitcoin maximalist. It's odd.
Jack, hey, he's just really in with the cool crowd. This story reminded me a lot of Crypto in Context. I've spoken about it on the show before, and Isaiah Jackson did an interview with them last year at Consensus. And Crypto in Context is an educational, forum in the Bronx. And they offer crypto education to university students in the Bronx. The first question they ask them is, where's your nearest bank branch? And that's really kind of what makes the light bulb go off for a lot of these people. They're like, you know, it's really far. It's like at least 12 away. I actually don't even have access to this very regular banking stuff that everyone else has access to. But what I think is really interesting about crypto in context is they also focus on the educational aspect from a jobs perspective. So it's not only about investing and getting away from the traditional financial systems, it's also about, you know, getting involved in the technology. There are so many jobs, there's no formal education in crypto, and a lot of these people, if they're able to get out of the situation they're in through working in this really profitable industry, that's really awesome. And so I hope that we see that with this initiative as well.